Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases.
Hello, everyone. Glad you're able to join us tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you have any questions, I'm on the road this week and last week and probably the next week or so. And just throw them in comments and I'll try to get to all of them. And I appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you can tell from the wonderful lighting we have in our portable studio, I just woke up from a nap. I fell asleep sitting over here waiting on the show to start, and luckily I got up. But for you people that are new to the channel, we have been planning and had in the works. I go out and work cold cases throughout the year for these cold case families. The foundation side of our true crime community of the True Crime Web Foundation. And then, of course, we have the True Crime Web YouTube part, which what this is, that also assists us in being able to go out and work cases. And also, for this year, we had a contributor to our foundation that wished for an environmental DNA study to occur. And if you don't understand or realize what environmental DNA is, it's as far as this study is concerned, is that we're trying to determine if a missing person or a victim of a homicide that has been exposed to the environment in certain watersheds, are there during phases of after death, is their DNA spread through the watershed environment into the soils, and is it maintained there? And can it be used to identify in what areas of watershed a victim may be? And if that is the case, and we're able to prove this concept, it could have a huge impact on searches. It could narrow the scope of those searches, and that's what we're out here doing. On the second phase of this, the first part of our week, last week as I traveled, I worked with some cold case families, and so we're going to be looking at some of the mileage that in the last 7 days. The picture on the left with 51073 is when I picked up my rental vehicle. The picture to the right is 55361, which is a difference of 4,288 miles, which is what I've traveled in the last 7 days. I think if you average that out, what is that? Somewhere around 600 and something miles a day average. And while traveling 600 something miles a day isn't that impressive, but you have to consider also that if you're averaging 70 miles an hour, that's still, almost 9 hours, it's between 8 and 9 hours of driving if you're averaging 70 miles an hour, which that's not always the case. But you also have to consider that in these last 7 days, I've went out and worked with some cold case families and spent a lot of time, downtime. Well, not really downtime, but time that's setting, either interviewing and speaking with or looking at evidence, and then having a work product. And also this week, I was able to go up to and deliver the fence art that was prepared by the Florida artist that was sent up to as a memorial to replace some of the aging artwork that had over the years where Lyric and Elizabeth is they're at Myers Lake where Angel Park is. So they're going to replace that artwork. And I was able and had the honor to be able to take it up there and meet with Drew and do some work up there, field work. And I got that field work done Tuesday, and had lunch with Drew, and he's absolutely appreciative of everything that this community does and allows us to do. But after having lunch with Drew, I left Iowa and headed west. And so since I headed west, I drove for quite a few hours. I think I drove for about 12 or 14 hours, got tired and slept in a Walmart parking lot. And I don't know how Walmart is, at what point will they give me a floor mat for me to stay? Because that's pretty much where I go whenever I make these trips and things. And it's not that I can't stay at hotels or motels while I'm on the road. It's just that I have so much equipment, and some of that equipment is valuable, and I have to unpack it and take it to a room with me. And so just sleeping in the vehicle is a lot easier when you're trying to make up mileage and you have so much work to do. Because even cutting corners and trying to work as hard and do everything as fast as I can, it's still, probably this trip is going to be somewhere between 12 and 18 days. We just don't know what we're going to run up against. But so far, I've been running as hard as I can. But before we get too much further, let's see what's going on in chat. We have CJK here. Good to see you. Mustang 65. Holly is from Texas. Hello. Marion Tate. Wonderful to see you. And we have a new subscriber. I've got Paula. Appreciate you being here. Welcome. And like I said, if you have any questions about anything, throw them in there. If I can answer them, I will try to answer them. And we have Southern Gal. Hey, Mr. C. Yay, morning watch. And for the ones that's been with me for quite a while, I used to have, I don't know, I probably had 5 or 7 shows a week. And 2 or 3 of those shows was my morning watch, which in the world of law enforcement is at midnight to sunlight time of the day. And they call it morning watch. And so I've done that for many, many years. And but for the YouTube part of the morning watch, I stopped doing them so much because I was getting, and I wish I could do them more, but certain things have to be placed in front of others. And the code case work takes up a lot of time. And because even when I'm not on the road traveling, we still work on code cases. The families that are involved in this know about it, and they understand that. And speaking of those families, here's Barbara Hall. If y'all do not know who Barbara Hall is, she is the mother of Timmy Dees, one of the code cases that we've been working on, and did some work in just last few weeks. And good to see her. And it absolutely is a wonderful lady, and it is very inspiring to talk to. And I absolutely hope that we can find some justice for Timmy. Let's see here. Going on through here. Oh, y'all been YouTube Mustang. Yeah, you followed Mustang and Southern Gal over. Y'all must have been out checking on somebody. What YouTube channel were y'all over there assisting? There's Peggy. Good to see you. Oh, man. Yeah. Southern Gal got it right. Barbara, we got to stop meeting like this. Hopefully on my way back, I had the honor of meeting Kristen behind the crime door on the way up. And hopefully I'll be able to meet Southern Gal and Ardent Fox on my way back. Just depends on what work I've got to do. There's some more code case work I've got to do on my return trip also. And so I'm hoping that it puts me in the general direction of them so I can have some coffee. Marion says, "Thank you, True Crime Web Foundation, for all the hard work that you do for all the families and our loved ones." And you know, it's an honor to be able to still have certain or try to use the skill sets I was trained to use in my law enforcement career to assist these families. And all the appreciation is to my community, and for the fact that without them, I wouldn't be able to do what we do and go out there and try to have an impact on these families. And even the new cases and new families. Recently, I spoke to a family, and you see how vulnerable they are. That when and each of these families are able to speak of it, that they appreciate that there's people out there in society, in these communities, YouTube world, that are trying to have an impact and assisting professionals or people with certain skill sets like myself to be able to come out and try to help these families. And they're very appreciative of it. And you see that. I wish that I could take a video of some of those encounters and interviews, but they're very personal moments and times. And you often see tears where they're so grateful and so happy. And as you work with them, and, you know, like I said, I couldn't do that without y'all. And that's my pay, is getting to watch and these families and their reactions. So thank you, guys. Let's see. Gil says, "Hello, this is a surprise." Yes, it is. But as I come across the country, some of the I took a few pictures of, and I can't tell you where I'm at most of the time. This was probably somewhere in Iowa. I know that, heading west. That's all I can tell you. And you have to bear with me that the camera is not in focus when I'm taking some of these pictures because, you know, I'm driving and trying not to be distracted. So I just pick up a camera and stick it over there and hit the shutter, and it goes. So you just have to bear with me on my camera work. And like I said, once again, there's a lot of these windmill communities out there. And I just wanted to share some of the things that y'all, so y'all be able to see parts of the country as I come across, because we have a beautiful country. There's a lot of interesting things. And that's another thing that is very rewarding in my work. I get to see things that a lot of people, you know, just will not on a day-to-day, other than the truck driver world. Those guys get to see this stuff all the time. Me, not so much. And but there's some long hours and long driving. And here's a sunset. And this next picture is also that same sunset, but I just happened to hit it with the proper background, and it's an absolutely gorgeous picture. And it was a gorgeous sunset. And you know, you just appreciate those moments and with what we get to do. And so now, with that being, let's go. Wallflower said, "It's been a crazy long day, up at 3:30 a.m. I'm going to try and stay up for your live." Yes, last night, 3:30 a.m. I think I was somewhere in Wyoming at a Walmart and was trying to get, and it's cold in Wyoming right now, guys. I am telling you, luckily I had prepared that I may have to stay at some of the crime scenes on the cold cases, and also even on the eDNA study, because we're going into some very remote areas, and I'm prepared to sleep in my vehicle. And it paid off at least twice on this trip so far. I slept in my vehicle 2 times so far on this trip, 2 of the 7 days. And so as we move forward, maybe I'll have less of those. Cecil Hotel, good to see you. Yes, Holly, it is great. And it has been a wonderful, the weather has been absolutely perfect. I ran into a rainstorm somewhere east of Wyoming. Uh, I believe it was in Nebraska, um, a certain part of Nebraska that it was absolutely flooding. You couldn't see 20 feet and on the interstate for, I don't know, about 30 minutes. Yes, that's a lot of miles. It is for 7 days. And but like I told everybody, I was figuring that on this trip we'll travel somewhere 28 and 10,000 miles. I have no idea. Uh, I, I'm still communicating with certain agencies about some of the eDNA studies and trying to get access to some of the recovery sites so that we can have a baseline of, for proof of concept and from known areas and known watersheds, because that'll help us when if we can um, uh, cross all the T's and dot all the I's, that we will um, have some answers. And if those answers are come to prove that environmental DNA is in those watersheds and is distributed not only just 10, 20, 30 feet, but, 50 yards, 100 yards, 1,000 yards, or a mile or more, because through running water, you can determine environmental DNA of all the species that are upstream. We just don't know if that works also for uh, uh, humans. Now, it will work as far as overpopulated areas. On the eastern coast, the eDNA wouldn't work because there's so much human uh, contamination. That's how come we're trying to get to these remote areas out west. Thank you, Marion, for thanking everybody for what they've done. And like I said, we have some great community, not only for my channel, but other channels out there. And these other creators, such as Southern Gal, Mind of Monsters, um, and Ardent Fox, they absolutely, it's unbelievable the work they do also on bringing awareness. Peggy says way too much driving for her. Yeah. Hello, farmer. Good to see you. Paula. You got it. Hi, Nightbot. Oh, Nightbot. Hopefully, Nightbot is behaving tonight. Oh, man. Miranda says, True Crime Web aimed up updates on Evansdale. How's Drew doing? Drew was extremely appreciative of getting the fence delivered. Of course, he's frustrated. All these families, it doesn't matter. Some of these families have been working on cases. If you look at Larry Crum, Amber, we're talking 40 years. Drew, 12. And even with Barbara, just 2 or 3 years, it's still extended time. And all these families, they won't, one day is more than what anyone should have to face with the loss of a loved one. And but all these families have worked in multiple years trying to find justice. So it's extremely frustrating for them. And it's frustrating to me too. You said my voice is a bit hoarse. Yeah, I guess it is. Like I said, I'm sleeping in the car last night. Well, no, it wasn't last night. Well, I guess it is. It was yesterday morning, last night now, because I'm in another day. It's hard to keep up with these dates. So if I miss on what day or what date it is, bear with me. Yeah, a lot of work goes on. Absolutely. But hopefully y'all can understand. I'm sure that being a little bit hoarse doesn't take away from my Georgia accent. And so y'all can completely understand. A lot of people sleep at Walmart parking lots. Yes, they do. And I'm one of them. It's absolutely, I go over there where the employee parking is, and you can park over there, and there's others parking there. And typically, there's, not that Walmart has security, but there's people out and about, and some Walmart parking lots are quite entertaining. They're not as entertaining as the Waffle House parking lots, but they can be pretty entertaining. Oh, me. Yes, they do have cameras. Another place that I don't mind, going to and staying is hospitals. Same thing. There's a lot of people sleep in cars at hospitals. Mustang 65, justice for Abby and Libby. And is any news out there? Let me know, because like I said, I have no idea what goes on when I'm on these trips. I don't have any idea what's going on with my channel or with anyone else's channel. Gail says, I'm in bed half asleep. I'm sitting in a chair in my portable studio about with you there. Oh, man. Barbara says, time, and waiting. Absolutely. It's so frustrating for so many of these families. Oh, look here. Miranda Lee has been a member for 15 months. Love Mr. Stevens, True Crime Web. We all appreciate you so much. Thank you dearly. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, man. Uh-oh. I done woke up Josh the Posh. Oh, I'm half asleep myself, but Steve's notification woke me. Mr. Steve, you taught us a lot. Yeah, some of the CSI stuff, and like I said, for anyone that's new, go check out some of my CSI as part of my career and part of my life. And I do a lot of testing, and I continue to test on all these cold cases. And every now and then, like I said, it's interesting as far as me and the way I process certain items. And it's sort of old school. There's so much new technology out there now. And I can't wait to see some of these technologies coming out in the courtrooms. And because all it can do is help in the processing and understanding of crime scene. We used to have to pull strings. We didn't have lasers. All we had was colored string. And when you went into a room and you're pulling blood spatter, and you're pulling strings to determine point of origin, point of contacts, cast off, everything to do with blood spatter, that you can make it a room into a spider web that's impassable. With the lasers, not so much. Oh, Southern, yeah, that's right. You did your floor live. We came over here after. Dang, I missed that. I fell asleep. I'm sorry. But thank y'all for doing the floor live. Mustang was on Gray's channel for a bit. Okay. Marion said, I would love to see pictures with you, with all the cold case families. And there's some of the families that's just consulting. And there's also families that are new families on board. And there's a timeline there of where certain things have to be done in certain stages. And that gives me an opportunity to look at the case and go into some of these areas and see the crime scene firsthand. And whereas without that, you know, ability of entering without anyone's knowledge and or certain information being kept close to the chest is beneficial as far as what my cold case work is. CJK says, if your return trip is New Wichita, let me know. I'll have to check. I know I'm going to try to go back and hit Arkansas, and I'll be coming. I don't know what part of California or the West Coast that my last case or one of the cases will be as I head back east, but I'll have to check. Holly says, I fall asleep listening to true crime. You did that with the Lori Val trial, no cameras. You'll fall asleep here too. I may join you. So if y'all see me just pass out. And that's, thank you, Marion Tate. Mrs. Steve, most people have no idea of all the work that Mrs. Steve does for this and the logistics, organizing, and, handling of that when I'm away and on the road doing this stuff. I've got probably at least 2 more trips that we'll be doing, well, more than that, because some of the follow-up stuff on some of the cold cases that are in the Midwest, I don't have any cases out west as far as really active investigations currently. Now, I have contacts with some families, but all those families, of course, are, they may be working with law enforcement and the case hasn't gone cold. And I typically don't take on a case until the family is classified as either code or the manner of death or something is wrong classification. And the family is looking for justice, and so that's what we do. Yes, it does, Farmer. There's a lot of great people that support these channels out there, and I appreciate it so much. I wish I could remember how I first heard of Steve. It was on a YouTube channel. I hope it was good. I hope it wasn't something that was that they were. Although I think most channels are reasonable with me. Hopefully they weren't, and you just wanted to come over and see me making a fool of myself. Gail says, True Crime Web, do you get enough sleep, rest, sleeping like that after driving all that way? No, it's kind of hard and but where I'm currently at, I've got, I scheduled an extra day and a half of being able to stay here and decompress a little bit and actually get probably an extra 10 or 12 hours sleep. That I don't have anything much other than just paperwork, phone calls, emails, and things of that nature. But this trip, now, could I do what I've done on this trip every month? No, be impossible. But every now and then, this is just like it what y'all are seeing here of this little frenzy outburst of work, that if you took all the travel and all the hours and not that it would be across country, but you put it just within a crime scene of a local crime or a local homicide, you have the same almost exact manners. There's a lot of travel involved. While it may not be over extended parts across the country, but the investigators, the search teams, the arrest teams, stakeout teams, all those guys are putting in all these massive amount of hours on a local crime. And just like when you look at with Abby and Libby in Delphi, they had all these officers come together, and you had, 100, 200 officers all putting in 2 or 3 miles, or say 10 miles a day. When you multiply that across the board, you're getting into the thousands of miles a day, which is what I'm doing. So I'm just doing it across country, and but it's the exact same. It doesn't really matter. It all works out in the end. Mustang Cornhuskers. Farmer says, if the police cars were gold, it was Iowa. I don't know. I can't remember seeing any police cars. Here's a couple more pictures. This was early yesterday. Well, now it's yesterday morning, right before sunrise, as I was heading, after I woke up from Walmart, and still coming. And then you can see the mountain range back in the back on the bottom that has snow on it. And I thought this little shot here is probably one of my best pictures. If I could just get the trucks out of the picture. Oh, man. But there's some beautiful country out there that I get to see, and I appreciate that. I like the imperfections. You're going to love this channel. We have a lot of imperfections. If you like imperfection, that's it. Actually, last night they're over there like I said, when I woke up this morning, I typically don't eat a big breakfast while I'm driving and traveling. But my work schedule had been messed up for a couple, 3 days. And so I decided to sit down and have a bunch of coffee because I missed my coffee. And I was in Wyoming, and there was a Denny's. And so I pulled into the Denny's, and I asked them, I said, where am I at in Wyoming? I knew I was in Wyoming. And I said, how far am I? And I think I was about 2/3 of the way across. I love that picture there. This is my favorite. I think of all the pictures, this one is one of my favorites. I've got to go in there. I'm going to do some photoshopping on that and see if I can't recreate something for us. Steve needs a yurt. If y'all seen my vehicle, how I had it packed out, although it's not as packed as much as now since I got rid of the fence art, but it's still pretty well packed. Marion says, make sure you have the bear spray. I do have the bear spray because I'm going to be in some remote areas, and it's not that if I'm needing bear spray, it's really not going my way, but I'd rather have it and not need it than absolutely need it. Aquarian 1, good to see you. Yes, that was a beautiful sunset. I like the sunset. That between that one and that one absolutely gorgeous. The contrast of different from the green, although I'm sure that those whatever type of hills and the vastness of this area, even here, guys, you can lose somebody on that mountainside, and there's a possibility of those being there. Gil, I've been harassing the post office people. It's exhausting. Yes, she has they sent me a walking cane, which I'm probably going to need. Yeah, I wish I had it with me right now, but I would need it to fight off. I'm going to be in probably one of the most dangerous things that possibly I'd be facing is more of a snake bite than a bear attack or a cougar attack. He says, I've been in snow in Sinclair, Wyoming in August. Like I said, I was laying, I went to sleep and I had the windows partially down to get some air. And I hadn't been dozed off, but for a few minutes. And the temp just, with the air flowing through, just dropped. And so I had to get out and find my pillow and my blankie. Gail says, "Farmer, what is a yurt? A yurt is it's a Alaskan version of a teepee, basically. It's little round houses. It's not really the Alaskan version. It's I guess it originated out of the some of the indigenous people that in China that are the herders, where they have those round structures that are made from animal skins and the covers. And there's modern variations of those, but you see a lot of yurts up in Alaska, and because they're easy to put up, they're easy to put together, and they're extremely mobile. Well, I went through a more technical term. Farmer put it out there. It's a round hippie tent thing. Farmer and I explained the exact same thing, but in just different terminology. But Southern Gal knew exactly what he was talking about. So hopefully I didn't cloud the issue too bad. Oh, man. Oh, man. Sharon Edwards, joining a little late. Good to see you. Thank you. Southern Gal, True Crime. Appreciate everything you do. $10. Thank you. Peggy says, Chris has been out looking for Aiden Clune. He's going out again tomorrow. Excellent. Excellent. Wishing the best on that. Hopefully he'll have some positive results. Gail, $10. Love and respect your expertise, but not in politics. I hope. Hopefully I don't have much politics. I don't think I do much politics, do I? I'm trying to think, do I? I may say things about politics, just don't realize it. Yeah, I'm sure that the other people, yes. I mean, it's human nature. We gather, and even across the animal kingdom, you see same herd mentality. You try to get into the center of the herd because most of the time you don't go into the center to attack. You attack on the edges. So. My grandfather came from Georgia. I understand that Georgia ease. Yes. I imagine it's safer in the hospital parking lot. Yes, I would agree because they do. All the hospitals now have um, um, camera systems and security uh, on premises, and you have law enforcement always going in and out of hospitals. Miranda says, we are having Florida Week currently, and different creators are covering the case on YouTube to raise awareness. Absolutely. And I appreciate each and every one of them. Paula says, I love the TV show CSI. You and Mrs. Steve, she does too. Now, Mrs. Steve gets to live a little bit of the CSI world as far as the testing. And, and my training was way back before anyone knew what CSI was, and what it would evolve into and where it's going to take us in the future as far as looking at cases and the abilities of solving these cases so they don't become cold. Mustang said, I like NCIS with Jethro. Mrs. Steve did also, but when I first saw Jethro, I was thinking of the Clampetts. We have a new NCIS coming out that predates the current one. My cousin is an actor with a role in the show. Excellent. NCIS Origins. So they're going to go back to my generation. Josh says that he's going to go back to sleep. Appreciate you coming by. Gail, 50 Canadian super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm using it as we speak. It's cheaper in the Walmart, but thank you. That's very kind of you. Accidentally, Paula says, for me, it depends on how long the stream is before I accidentally fall asleep. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep before you. Yes, she is a rock star. Lala says, can police department utilize the experience of retired officers if they're willing to volunteer their time? Shame not to utilize all that talent and expertise to help solve cold cases. There are quite a few agencies out there that do exactly what you suggest here, that any of the older retired officers that wish to come in and look at some of the cold cases, and some of the cold cases they may have been involved with in their career, or they may not have been, and they go back and look at those. But yes, they do that. Not all departments, but some departments do. Oh no, I do not need a show. Mr. Steve, is your email on your channel page? It's should be. I'll look and see, but it's steve@truecrimeweb.com. Madison says, "Oh my gosh, morning watch, awesome." Yes, I'm back while I'm on this trip. Lori Sutherland, good to see you. Gail says, "Stay in the motel next to the Waffle House." There are certain ones in Indiana. There's a Waffle House near one of the motels I stay at, and but I always go to that one. You are absolutely correct. If I have the opportunity, I do take advantage of that. The way bed bugs are, I would rather stay in my own car. Oh, I guess I don't know if I've run across any or not. I have no idea. Put a fake rattlesnake on your vehicle and a sign that says "Beware of snake." Then you can get a room. Oh, that's too funny. Mr. Steve, sounds like you're speeding. No, I just I don't stop. I have snacks. I have drinks. I do not stop once a car is moving. The only time I stop is for fuel. That's the only time I stop. And I don't, if I need something to eat while I'm fueling, I'll get something to eat. But that's the only time I don't. Generally, other than this morning, was the first time that, on this trip that I actually did stop for no reason other than get some coffee and a hash brown and what kind of, I'm trying to think what type of I had omelet, I guess. Yeah, I had omelet today. Yeah, I thought it was. I was amazed that there was snow. Like I said, the last time I came out, Chris and I went up into Timber Creek, and I'm trying to think. I think that was a little bit earlier in the year, maybe. I can't remember, but and it was pretty cold up there. It was in because Chris didn't have all his clothing with him. He had to borrow some from me. You want me to get a 2002 Pontiac Aztec so I can pop up the roof? Oh, man. Traveling Man. There's a song, Traveling Man. Hello, Witchcraft. Good to see you. Gail says, "True crime if the post office ever gets it there." I know. Hopefully it's there. I don't know. I have everything stopped as far as my mail, so I have to pick it up. It goes at the post office. Um, Tomorrow or next day after I start collecting, I have to start shipping, which I'll overnight. I don't know with which um, who I'm going to ship with overnight to the university for the testing, but um, it probably won't be the USP Postal Service. There's a show where they build yurts in Hawaii. I did not know that they had yurts in Hawaii. Yes, there's all different kinds of yurts. I even thought about if I ever went to Alaska, I would live in a yurt. I don't know but it would have to be of some hardy material, as the fact that I do not want to be woken up by some playful bear that decided to pull me out. Marion said, when we are in the members only chat, can we tell you some funny jokes to make you laugh while you're on the road? Yeah, in members only, absolutely. I don't mind at all. I've never heard you mention politics, Steve. I don't think I do often, and if I do, it's probably the most controversial things I've ever spoken about would probably be Second Amendment that I can think of. Yeah, I saw those gates, and I don't want to. I can't imagine being out here in the winter and when they close the roads, and so that you don't get in some of those isolated areas. Even this time of year, there's, if you break down, there's enough traffic, you don't have to worry about it, but there's still a lot of isolated area. Marion says, I watched Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Thank you, Shelley. We all love Mrs. Steve. Marion's from Colorado. I haven't gone through Colorado yet. I don't know if I will be through Colorado or not. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going to wind up with some of these because we're still negotiating certain areas and we're working with certain agencies and access. Did you have any interactions with crime scene reconstruction specialists in your LE capacity? Yes. When in my career, some of the reconstruction specialists was early on. That's when everyone and a lot of the basis of what my reconstruction is on is from what we learned during the early days of crime scene reconstruction. And because before the CS crime scene technician training and the certifications for the states, you didn't have a lot of reconstruction for courtroom. Now, it's almost always you're going to have some type of reconstruction. And so, yes, back in the day, I worked with a lot of them. And I'm sure that I think with the Murdoch case, you got to see some of the newer technologies. And you got to see, if you watch any of my recreations, and then you watch what came in through the court, while we came to the same conclusions, it was two totally different approaches. Mine was old school and building it from a different aspect of firearm recognition and ejections, and where can a round be ejected and which way is a muzzle pointed, where are the impacts, and it gives you the same muzzle alignment. And we got to see that. And I don't think there's any better example of old technology and new technology being looking at a case and supporting each other than the Murdoch case. If you look at some of the things I did and what was proven in court. Barbara says, I don't like watch TV much now. I like all of you more. Same here. I'll probably watch more YouTube than I do anything. I don't. You are the reality show version of CSI. Oh my goodness! I hope there's better out there than that. But thank you. Mustang 65 has got away from the all the TV. Barbara, all I watch now is YouTube. Don't even have cable or satellite anymore. That's excellent. You were a crowd pleaser. He says, I accidentally drove onto the set of an NCIS filming location, trying to get to the staging area from the Las Vegas Convention Center. And you were a crowd pleaser. Truck stop, gravy, fries, smokes, and gasoline. Chris is the mob crew. And he's going out. I think they said he's going to go be looking for Aiden Clune tomorrow. Ricky Nelson. Steve, package not there yet. We had to make boxes. I think our boxes scared the postal workers. Oh my goodness. It took 9 days for 3 packages to go 120 miles. Frank and Chris. Yes, I outrun the postal service. Tech Def is hello. Look at here. There's Ruckus. Ruckus must. I woke up and good to see you. Appreciate you. He's done woke up and joined us. Yes, Dandy. Colorado is beautiful. I took my mother there many years ago. My brother was stationed there, and we went into there, and absolutely is a gorgeous part of the country. Ruckus says, hello, everyone. Yes. Ricky Nelson saying Traveling Man. Farmer. Thank you, Steve, for that thoughtful answer. Oh, me. Oh, that's funny. If y'all don't know, pay attention to a farmer. Absolutely brilliant and hilarious. He is. Oh, man. I'm with you, Aquarian. I probably 90% of everything I watch now is probably YouTube. Ruckus says, eat your Wheaties, Steve. My stuff isn't going to carry itself. Yes, I actually will be collaborating together in a few days. And once again, I become his Sherpa. I'll probably, when they check him onto the airplane, he has this little shirt that has contact Mr. Steve if found wandering. And that's how, and then they put him out beside the drive at pickup, and that's how I find him. He's wearing his little Steve pickup shirt. Paula says, what are your thoughts on the West Memphis 3? The West Memphis 3 case, I'm absolutely, I've always looked at that case, and I've got to get with Southern Gal, and we're going to collaborate and do a show on it at some point. No, I'm not his caddy. I'm his Sherpa. I'm a national treasure Sherpa. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's already stolen that. He knew it more of a national treasure / Sherpa. There you go. See, I've been around him so long. He's has corrupted my thought process. Hella says, sorry, I'm lost. Where on your trip are you and what was the goal of going? The first part of my trip was I was working cold cases that our foundation always, we have multiple families that we don't create content on them, but we go out and work these cold cases for the families, generate new leads, and trying to find justice for those cases. And now the second part of it is the environmental DNA study to determine if DNA that is left from victims in the environment is scattered and can be collected from soil and water shed to determine if there are victims in those areas that, and can we use eDNA to narrow the scope of search. Oh, it was a really good answer about the blending of old and new tech. Yes, thank you. Why isn't he with you protecting our national treasure? He wouldn't have survived the last 24 hours. Actually, I had a lot of work to do, and I knew I was going to be doing a lot of traveling. To, you know, while the foundation does have resources, I try to always get the biggest bang for the buck of the hard-earned money that's donated, regardless of who donates it. There was a window of for the finances that it was cheaper for him to be flown out here at a critical time of when I'm going into these remote areas, that whereas he can watch the vehicle and the equipment, because I'm going to be in some extremely remote areas away from my vehicle a mile or two, and I just don't want all the equipment to be destroyed. Plus, it's a safety factor that if for some chance a snake or a cougar or a bear decides to chase the national treasure, I can run by Ruckus, shoot him in the leg, and continue running. Or at least that's my plan. Aquarian says, what kind of music do you like to listen to on the road? I listen to anything oldies, rock, to country. He says Ruckus is out buying extra bubble wrap. I'm not far from that now. I'm telling you. Gail says, next thing you know, Steve would be carrying Ruckus. If he could figure out how to get what is those things, whereas little carriages where they sit in the back and you pick them up and you run around with them. If he could figure out how to get those in the vehicle, he would have one. Yes, Lala sees the wisdom of my ways. Just need to outrun Ruckus. You know, give him a dog crate. Oh goodness, y'all are so funny. Yes, the rickshaw, Ruckus on a rickshaw. If he knew, if he could figure out how to get one of those in the vehicle, he would. All right, guys. Looks like I've got caught up, and I appreciate everybody being here tonight. We've been here a little bit over an hour. I'm going to go get some sleep. Got a long day tomorrow. Got some work to do. We start gathering soil samples tomorrow. And then later on this week, I pick up, I have a team I'm going to be working with for this first 2 or 3 days. And then I'll be switching over to another 2 or 3 different other states and be on the road as we pick up. And that's what Ruckus is going to be a valuable asset for that. And I appreciate him coming along, and so that he can take care of the national treasure, as he refers to me. But he tries to keep the national treasure strong by carrying all his stuff. Yes, Marion Tate, thank you for your support of the True Crime Web Foundation, and we appreciate everything everybody does for us. Let me go in here and end it with that one there. But y'all guys stay safe, and I will see y'all in a day or two, guys. Bye.